Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to the SRF Weekend Warriors presented by Rennsport on this Detroit Belle Isle double header. If you went through this earlier on, you missed a classic in the Formula 4s, but now it's time for the bigger grids, powerful SRFs. What's going to happen? Well, it's going to be fascinating to absolutely see, and we'll find out very, very shortly how qualifying, it's just not going in the background right now, going to proceed. But let's have a look through the championship standings first of all. Into Spec 1 is Jason Green, who leads the way there. It's starting to open up a bit of a gap over one Claudio Gardini, who's in the absolute form of his life right now, having picked up some solid results, including his first podium in a very long time, if not ever, at Willow Springs. Dudo Castro into third, although he hasn't been with us for all the season, but is on a streak, 2 wins in a row. Fafini, he's having a great season in fourth. West, fifth. Cabanca, Dantas, McCain. Marco Panero down in ninth and hasn't won since Oran Park 4 rounds ago. With Jason Perry rounding out your top 10. Across into Spec 2 now. And, well, Paul Jackson leads the way. Not by a massive margin. Only 14 points ahead of Kelly Pocock, who's having a great season himself as well. Trenton Kramer, third place in this championship, running strong for both this and the Formula Fords right now. Stephen Healy fourth, then it's Berry in fifth. Lorio, Montgomery, Justice, Yusovic, and Brain running out your top 10 there. Across now into Masters, and well, Yogmani dominating in the Formula 4s, but even more so dominating here in the SRFs. He's won every round so far this season. Can he carry on that streak tonight here at Belle Isle? He's looking good for the championship. Well clear of Murakami by over 70 points. Gert Nunez, he's at 110 points in fact behind Murakami. Currently Nunez lying in third. Then it's Gradwell though tied on points for third place. What can the Aussie do? He's having a cracking season too, him as well, for third last time out at Tsukuba in class. Bradshaw fifth, then it's Race Cathcart, Walbolt, Thorpe, and Ray to round out the top 10. But joining me now, as always, Charles Bushell. Well, we've had something to get us going, and then now now we really get stuck into the business things. As Dude Castro spotted, he's just gone on to pole ahead of Naselli.
Yep, it's this is going to be another classic spec racer race. You know, we got my last count here was 42 cars on the grid, which is probably about 20 too many for this track. So it's going to make things very interesting. The start of the race is going to be very chaotic. Hopefully, not a lot of incidents. The first race was very clean. We had a couple of 2-car incidents, but no, major collisions. Took out several cars. Looking hopefully for more of the same here. This car obviously can take a little more beating and banging against these concrete barriers than the Formula 4 did, and they actually did fairly well. I was really surprised how they could do some wall grazing and survive. So these, I think, will be it's going to be sure to be some tight racing. And of course, obviously, the draft is going to be very prominent in those 2 straightaways. So it should be a very interesting race, and I'm looking forward to it.
So, top of Masters, Antonio Race on the 2nd row of the grid. Things stand at the moment. Spec 2, Simpkins leads that one. He's 16th, but he has Caleb Pocock nipping at his heels. But let's start now. Pocock would be 1 row behind him on the 18th row of the grid. Probably 8th even. I'll get mixed up. We've got so many rows here. It's like any other championship. Easy to get mixed up. No less. There's who's Simpkins, the Dutchman, 16th, and to be fair, not too far off Murakami's side either. So it's a couple of attempts. If you can pull that one out of the bag, and that could see him climb 3 or 4 places very, very easily. Much tighter spread here in comparison to what we had in the Formula 4s earlier on, although I get the feeling in the racing conditions we're going to experience the same sort of thing where the top group of drivers that are really sort of in form and at one with this track are going to just clear off. I think we finished with something like about a 9 seconds gap back to Murakami, who did not have a shabby race at all himself earlier on. I mean, he finished 2nd in Masters, so not shabby whatsoever. As Overstreet just improving, they're going 4th. So no, it was Dantas going 5th. Apologies.
Yeah, and Kramer's moved up to the top of Spec 2 in P12. Yeah, it's the gaps are, as we see just a lot of cars there down that straightaway. The gaps are a little more consistent. There's no real big gaps, but we still only have like 12 cars that are within a second, which is normally with this group of drivers, you've got 25 that are within that 1 second time frame, and it may get a little more condensed before it's all said and done. So yeah, it's going to be one of those races. We talked about the key word being precision in the first race. I think it's a little less of that now because I think these cars do a little better with the curbs. So I think this may be I'm not even sure foresight may be the best word. You should be looking ahead to make sure that you don't get involved in anybody else's incidents, and that might make for a good result for you.
Rylan Potter, the Canadian, just saw him on screen there. A bit of a newcomer to this championship. Went 3rd. But over half a second off the pole time of Dudu Castro. And Potter is in 3rd. That is a big old margin. Even back to, Naselli is still 3.5 tenths. Naselli in 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
These are margins we haven't seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's like I said, normally it's, we're separated by hundreds and sometimes thousands up at the front of the field. And so, yeah, to see a 3.5 4/10 gap is pretty remarkable, especially between P2 and 3. Of course, you've still got a couple more laps, so that like I said, that may tighten up, and then we'll get to the business of racing as we see a car in the background just kind of slapping the wall. Probably see quite a few of those before this race is over with, and it was trouble spots that we'll have to identify as the race goes on. It seemed like what was the term? Was it turn 6 maybe? It's as we're looking at Castro, I think it was this corner right here that caught a lot of the Formula 4 drivers out, this right-hander. And had a lot of cars just looping themselves around. So there'll be a couple of spots we'll have to watch out for. But yeah, passing's going to be at a premium again.
It's not too bad, to be fair. I had a bit of a tour of the circuit in a test drive session. Obviously, the driver's driving straight through me, but my pace wasn't great, and it was on an Xbox controller, as my rig currently is still in storage. And I tell you what, this car around this circuit, I thought, oh, this is gonna be impending death for someone as rubbish as me, and it wasn't too bad actually. And as I said, that was with an Xbox controller, so I think it could be a little bit safer. The car a little bit more understeery, as Trent was, mentioned earlier on after speaking to Trent and Kramer, mentioning that with the SRF. So, speaking to him after his win in Spec 2 in the Formula 4. So, I think it could be a little bit safer. But I mean, these cars do also like to draft, so this might aid a little bit more overtaking to what we saw earlier on in the Formula 4. So there's Yogmani, he's done with his lap. He can get out. No, wait, get across the line again. So that's going to be him done across the qualifying. Ryan Potter done as well. So Kramer, as we mentioned him, he's now gone top of Spec 2, 12th overall. So that's a really, really solid lap from him to displace Hugh Simpkins from the top of Spec 2 qualifying. Yeah, this one could be fascinating. Are we going to see the same sort of flurry of activity as well that we saw at the end of qualifying in Formula 4? Well, I can tell you, due to Castro on a flat, it's just gone faster than anyone in Sector 2. So yeah, it could be happening once more as checker flag out drivers. They got to complete their laps. Here we go. Has anyone got anything in the bag?
Yeah, just Josh Justice that just popped into the pits said, I don't think I'm going to go any faster. As we see Naselli come across the line.
Slower by,
yeah,
3 tenths slower.
Yep.
Jason Green just popped up 2 places into 7th. Right, who else has got what else they have in the bag? I'm fascinated by Castro, although that Mammoth Sector 2 doesn't look like it's being backed up by anything else from him. No improvement in Sectors 1, 3, or 4, unless he's got something in the bag here in Sector 5. Of course, we don't truly know just how much slower he is than his previous best. As he's going to cut the timing beam. What's it going to be from him? And he goes slower as well by just over a tenth.
Yeah. So, we did see several, as we see the 909 bounce off the wall there. We did see several cars change positions in the last couple of laps of qualifying in the Formula 4. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case this time, as we do have one car that's coming around.
But a couple of drivers just closing up laps. Overstreet being one of them. Also, who else is finishing off their laps? Josh Justice, Bob Kern. He won't be on the flying lap. So it's just Josh Justice now as he heads into the pits. So he's done with qualifying. There we go. With 15 seconds remaining, and we'll get proceedings underway very, very shortly. I anticipate trying to reel through these names, as you rightly mentioned earlier on, Charles. That short run line. There's wait for it to click over into the session. Wow. Here we go. Could be absolutely epic. I mean, we saw it earlier on. There's treacherous moments. Someone loses it. I mean, we're 40 odd cars in 42. If we have the full complement here, Mark Bolton, the only driver not setting a time in qualifying, so it'll be interesting to see where he joins us. He'll be starting last on the grid and in the Spec 2 category. Just taking some of the beautiful sights here of Belle Park, and here we go. Transition across to the Castro. Starts on pole with this Selly. Great qualifying from the German to put him on the front row. Then we've got Potter and Race on row 2. Race your top qualifying masters, followed by Overstreet and Dantos on row 3. Row 4 is Green and Cabanca. Well, your top 10 rounded out by Carlos Barreto, making it 3 Brazilians in the top 9. And Jorg Marni rounding out your top 10. Jason Perry's joined by top qualifier in Spec 2. Trenton Kramer on row 6. Row 7, Dan Wood and Hugh Simpkins. Scott Russell's got Murakami for company on row 7, while row 8 is a all-masters row in the form of Brewster and Nunez. Adria Favini and Sean Vincent round out your top 20 in row 10. Row 11, it's Caleb Pocock and Tom Gradwell, while his fellow countryman Brad Cathcart starts one place behind him, but a row behind next to Tom Lorry. They've got Charlie Vaccaro and Alan McCain, followed by Andrew Love and Jeff Jacobson on row 14. Row 15 is Phil Berry and Josh Justice. Joseph Tarantino's got Todd Martin next to him on row 16. Row 17, John Young and Chris Forbes. 18 sees Healy next to Paolo Brain. Row 19 is Paul Jackson. He's going to be disappointed by that qualifying. Same with Adam Bradshaw, really down in the field. Those two, your penultimate row and your top 40 completed by Gary Warbolt and Ian Wilson, while Bob Kern and Mark Bolton neither set times, and they will start on the 21st row, the last row of the grid. What was the worry?
Yeah.
Just waiting on that. Bolton takes the grid now, although starting last, not too sure. Yeah, there we go. There come the lights on. So unless he starts from the pits, we'll be seeing him. So that'd make it just the 41 cars for, as I said earlier, Paul Samuli to try and keep track of through these opening stages. Good luck to all of us. Good luck to the drivers.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, let's get this first lap under our belts, get it clean, and then we'll do some racing for 40 minutes around Belle Isle. It's going to be a fascinating race to watch.
It is indeed. As Porsche 911 safety car pulls in, Castro controls the pace. Let's get ready to go racing from Detroit Belle Isle as we are green. We are away, and Race just getting up and a little bit there. So we're 4 wide, even trying to make it a little bit of a 5 wide there, and then 3 wide through the first turn. Bumping and banging doors. Jason Green ricochets to the outside there. Is anyone going to get into the wall? No, they don't. It's the all stream through turns 1 and 2 for the first time this evening. Forming up 2 rows, even a 3 wide for third place. Here we go, onto the brakes, into turn 3, 3 wide. Let's just see Dantas just tucking in a little bit there. Potter dipping back a level as the rest of the field make their way through. In the midfield, still 3 wide through the corner. Take it a lot more carefully here. We've made it away cleanly, Charles, but will we for much longer, especially if this lot keep 2 and 3 wide as they all are in the back?
Yeah, the one thing I was expecting to hear out of your mouth today was 4 wide. So obviously these drivers are ready to race. They've been 3 wide in various parts of that, but it looks like everybody's through clean. I don't see anybody really falling down the order. I think we've got the lowest drop is John Young with 4 positions. So, it's a little early yet, but that was obviously a very, very good clean start to this race.
Andrew Love up 4 in contrast. He's your highest position gainer so far. Nothing dramatic here, Andrew. I've also up 3 places in Class 7 in Masters. Has Brad Cathcart not far in front of him as well, so still chance for him to make a few more positions up. There you go.
Oh, no.
There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4,
here comes
5,
the roadblock,
6, 7. Yeah, I think everybody else maybe got stopped. So get at least 5 to 6 cars involved in that incident there. As we see Jackson and Young and Wilson, Bradshaw, Gradwell, Love, lots of our Masters class. Looks like they're going to be falling out of the order here, and we've already had a few tow.
It was reminiscent of that meme crash at Macau, wasn't it? That's the street singer.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Love onto the curbs, and that's what caused the catalyst for it all kicking off as the road literally got blocked there. And I think there's one driver who actually made it through the 912 there. Was it 916 at Bob Kern, I think?
I'm not sure how, to be fair. But, I think, there's a couple of cars, as we see Jackson's car. He's got a little damage on the left front. It's not horrible, This is obviously not really a track where you're going to need your all-out pace. That might not be too bad. He might can survive that. As we still see some battles back here in the mid-pack with Russell.
Yeah, look, Russell on the big losers, he's down 6. In contrast now, Walbot and Kern picked their way through, so it was Kern who was spotted. Walbot at 10, Kern up 11. Casualties caused by it though. Gradwell, Bradshaw and Love all in the pits. Tarantino, Jacobson and Young all down large chunks, and Tom Laurie as well. So some big casualties involved in that one, and just from clipping the curb, taking a bit too much of it from Love, what started it all off as Pocock. He's just had a little bit of an incident. Well, there you go, a bit more of a scrape with the wall to boot for good measure.
Yeah, it didn't. I was kind of flipping as we were looking through. We saw Cabanca and Barreto. It's like Barreto's got, it looks like damage on the front of his car, but that could be just some iRacing desync issues, but it looked like it was scratched up pretty bad, so maybe he got into the rear of Cabanca at some point during the first lap or two.
So other than that, front of the field all making their way through relatively cleanly, relatively smoothly. There you go, you mentioned that, Barreto. Yeah, there you go, you see that damage really clear on the front left of the car right now. Having said that, he is up 2 places in the 99, so not all lost whatsoever from him.
Oh, absolutely not. No,
it might only be one, because I think Cabanca might have him here, though. Having said that, he's all over him like a rash.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of this during the race now that we kind of like, as we get another crash, that's Russell. So maybe he did have some damage from the previous incident. Car looked pretty clean. Thought he might have just was able to stop and lost some positions, but that doesn't look good. That looks terminal, and he's already towed to the pits. So I think we'll see a lot of this in the upper into mid pack, where these cars will draft down these 2 straightaways and make passes back and forth amongst each other, just kind of fighting for that position.
Oh,
no!
Here we go. It's all kicking off once more. Murakami involved.
No.
Wow, this could be a big one as they all filter through.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, how did they make it through? Who was that? I think that might have been Sean Vincent. Charlie Vaccaro has a bit of an incident there before he even arrives at it. Well, more casualties claimed here.
Wow, that's just a crazy incident. And yeah, it's just in one of those, it's a blind corner, so you coming up through there and you're trying to carry as much speed as you can, and then all you know that you're there and you've got the entire track blocked by a couple of cars sideways, and there's really not much you can do about it. So yeah, there's another big group of cars that have dropped down the order.
Green,
we're looking again here.
Vaccaro, Wood, Brewster, Murakami, Nunez.
Yep. Oh, it was Cabanca.
Yeah.
I think that was Cabanca that was the car that kind of just took it and slapped the wall.
Wow. They keep coming as well. I mean,
yeah.
It's just words lose me to try and describe. Wow, war of attrition here, but maybe the commentators curse about how well we got on in the Formula Fords. Even producer Smoothly was saying after the race, look at that, only about, like say, about 3 or 4 incidents, all generally involving 2 cars. Then the SRFs rocked up.
Yeah, I mean, even even if there's no such thing as a commentator's curse, they're going to blame us for it anyway. So we might as well go ahead and just take it. So yeah, it was a good start to the race, but yeah, now that we're running at full chat, and you see the dangerous part of this track. It's a street circuit, and there's just no room. There's no room for A. There's no room for error, and then there's B. There's no room to try and avoid another incident, especially on some of these corners where you can't see it until it's too late.
Charles, I think we need a bit of a sit rep to try and diagnose what's happened here. So, it's not 3 still, Castro, Naselli and Potter. Ray still leads Masters. That's heading the grid unaffected, as there is Sue Simpkins who leads Spec 2 now. He's got ahead of Trenton Kramer, who's second in class, 10th overall. Then we get into the big gainers. Vincent, still third in Spec 2. He's up into 11th overall at 9 places. Josh Justice up an incredible 18 from it, as Race just got past Potter off, or has he? Has he onto the brakes? Around the outside, you're going to make it stick. He'll have the inside into the next couple of corners. A lovely, lovely move there from the Portuguese driver in the 914 machine. Other big gainers, well, it's pretty much everyone down from there. The biggest of the big, though, like with Gary Walbolt and Bob Kern, who are 21st and 23rd now, respectively, both up an incredible 18. Although everyone else around there up 15, 16, 13. I mean, 10 from Alan McCain. Practically rookie numbers to get himself into 16th.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can just kind of see what happens when you have those big incidences. If you just manage to get through them, you're going to end up having a pretty good day at the office. And as we see, Race still battling with Potter over P3, the top final podium step overall.
Well, stick with this battle as well. Back markers are going to play a large part of this story now. So many of them got up and going once more. Favini heads into the pit. He may even get home after that one. It's just, someone just out-breaking themselves in the foreground there to carry straight on as Antonio Race well held. Drifting
very nice
it through
catch.
free.
Yeah, absolutely. Very nice catch to catch that car. He got up on the curb, got the car loose, kicked the rear end around. He was able to hold on to it. And then Potter did a good job to just not run in the back of him. So, yeah, I think if the more of these cars go in and pit after these damage repairs get done and come back on track, yeah, it's going to could potentially play a huge role in the final results of this race, just from trying to navigate lap traffic.
So much where fisherman catch today might be cod or haddock here in the SRF Weekend Warriors. That's probably going to be our catch of the day for Antonio Race. A spectacular start to collect the car up and still maintain third place in that lead in Masters. Second in class is Marnie. He's down in 9th. Brad Cathcart third in class, 13th overall. Up a stunning, 10 spots overall and 4 in class. So casualties involved. Green, who is 23rd overall now. Brewster, Tarantino, Wilson, Nunes, Vaccaro, Murakami, Healy, Perry, Wood, Young, Kern, Russell, Gradwell, Jacobson, Kabanka, Love, and Bradshaw. And Brave.
Yeah, as we see Race and Dantas in the pits, that feels very, very early. Maybe they're thinking we'll not try and worry about the lap traffic, and we'll come into the pits now. So we'll see. That might not be a bad strategy, to be honest. You get out in some clean air, but I think they're going to be coming out right in the mid-pack, which is going to be probably not exactly where they wanted to be by coming into the pits that soon.
So he's come out. So him and Dantas have come out about 3 seconds behind McCain, who's 14th. Oh no. They get more into Vaccaro and Wilson getting into one another. That's down over, 30th place. And both with added bruised and battered cars.
Yeah, that car's not looking very healthy. He's not, doesn't look like he's up on the pace either. Let's come to the pits now. So luckily, pretty close to the pits, he can come in and take his fast repair and go ahead and get fuel. Should be good to the end of the race. I feel like anybody that stopped after the 10-minute mark, I think, is in pretty good shape.
I think actually that could well be his second stop potentially. As Wilson into the pits, Vaccaro in 2. Wow.
Oh no, Kramer.
That's Kramer around. Oh no. From leading Spec 2. A time, out in front of Cathcart, who, if he had lights on this car, would be spamming light flash button right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He would definitely be heavy on the light switch for sure. So we'll see Kramer here is coming through. You know, he was talking about being a little better with Formula Ford. He just caught the inside curb. I think it was the second time we've seen that. Dropping off the curb, the back end bouncing a little bit. You try and get on the throttle, and the car just says nope and flips around. So luckily nobody hit. But yeah, so obviously I would say you're absolutely right. Cathcart would not be would not be happy with that. But Kramer's just trying to get back around, and that was a pretty good gap. It wasn't the greatest gap, but it was a decent enough gap that he was able to successfully get the car turned and on his way.
So it's got a line of. A Spec 2 is so close. Simpkins now leads Vincent just as your podium. Oh, who's that?
Overstreet? Oh, wow. Overstreet in P4.
Was that Bob Kern? Yes, it was. They were coming round to lap.
Oh, he bounced it off the wall. And just I think that's both races now. Overstreet just nowhere to go. Just getting into somebody else's incident there. So yeah, she's gonna have to limp that car back around. She's pitting now. So once again, it didn't hurt her very bad in the first race. She still was able to come back and have a good result. So she's back in the pits now. That was just Philip Berry, who's at the 866 Pocock. That there was a little miscommunication on braking points, I believe.
Pocock into the pits. Right, Overstreet heading out, and where is she going to come out? She's going to come out in front of Dantas and Race, so not all lost for her, I feel, because Race pitted before he'd taken damage and lost too much time, and he was running about fourth, so I think this could work out potentially for Overstreet. It's not necessarily race over for her.
No, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, it looks like she's definitely still in the hunt for outside chance at a podium. I think she was running P4, but didn't quite look like she had the pace of the top three. But still quite a ways to go left in this race. Still another 25 minutes or so.
So let's have another sort through of everything. Walbolt now up an incredible 11 places in class to 4th in Masters and 22 overall. He is all by himself. I mean, maybe he might quite be happy to be there. He's got 5 seconds ahead of him to Paolo Brain and about another 5 seconds behind him to Jason Green. So he's sitting pretty there. Green, he stopped on lap 3. I get the feeling he's going to have to. He might get home on this. If anyone could do it, Jason Green could do it in that 160.
Yeah, if anybody can do it, it would be Jason Green. But I think that's a pretty tall order because he is still running. I mean, he's not running like top pace of the leaders, but he's still 2 seconds a lap faster than Wolbolt, so he'll be up on him pretty quickly. But yeah, he's still at least 2 seconds off of or almost 2 seconds off of the lead pack. So yes, it'll be a tough ask, but it seems like he might be trying to do that.
I mean, we're at the 16-minute mark, and outside of our top 10, it's only Brain, Warbolt, and Jackson who are yet to stop Charles. Oh, it's been a long old time since I saw this. Probably since, I would say, Indianapolis about a year and a half ago, since I've seen this level of pit stops in this early stage of the race, and that all happened a lot of, well, actually, yeah, we'd all done and dusted, I think, with everyone by then. A really weird set of events. There's Jackson. He's coming out in front of McCain, going to slot him behind. Oh, where is he? He's going to get him raced out to turn 3 here. A lunge up the inside now, going to tuck in there. So Jackson up 19 spots now into 18th place. Pocock hanging out the pits as well. Right, so second, third and fourth in Spec 2 are all on top of one another. There she, leader. And the cloud on the wall for you, Simpkins. Marnie applying the pressure to the max, trying to force a way out of him. Force the error out of him to try and get past, although it works on every other circuit, but a street circuit, is that the wisest move to be doing? I'm not so convinced.
No, I'm not sure about that one either. But yeah, I mean, Simpkins is up 9 positions, top 5 overall, Spec 2 driver. It just seems like that the Masters guys As we see Monty look into the inside, I think he's going to make this pass. Yep. Simpkins gives him lots of room, so well done by both those drivers. So yeah, lots of the Masters guys have kind of fallen by the wayside. Lots of the Spec 1 guys have kind of fallen by the wayside. So these Spec 2 drivers are getting the opportunity to run up in the top 10 for a change.
Castro, I mean, we've barely shown him due to it, all the action down the field. 3 seconds clear of Nicelli, who himself is 5 seconds clear of Potter. 3 different continents in our top 3 being represented right now. Justice trying to go to work on Cathcart. Kramer running some very strange lines there, almost a bit deep there into 5. And I think it's going to leave him really vulnerable here if Cathcart decides to make the move. But don't discredit Josh Justice. He's going to try and pull off the pair of them, but Cathcart says, no, I'm going to sit here and you're not having this place from me. But they're now being hunted down by that gaggle behind them, Overstreet Race and Dantas. Or what do you do now? What do you do now other than be scared, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's it. You've got some 3 very fast drivers behind this group. I know they're fighting. Cathcart's trying to hang in there in the top 3 of the Masters. Kramer and Justice are fighting over that last podium position in Spec 2. And now you've got 3. You've got two Spec 1s and another Masters driver who qualified pretty high, trying to make up ground, as much ground as they can, and they're not going to want to play around. They're going to want to get by and get up toward the front of the field.
That overtake around the outside into 7 is paying dividends for so many people because it gives you the inside line into the next couple of corners. You can get the job done. Murakami just showcasing another driver on how to do it. A lock up. Oh, that's Wilson sideways.
No.
Oh, Overstreet around. She lost it under braking.
Yeah, I think she was on the outside. They were going too wide there. It was her and I believe either Race or Dantas moved to the inside, so she got kind of hung out there, and that was just defensive to just not plow into him because, as you see, we're going to get around this corner. You see smoke, but you don't see anything until right now, and so now I think she maybe caught a little bit of the curb as well, which kicked the car around, and that was just trying to avoid another wreck.
I think she tried to back out of it to play safe, and then Antonio Race said, oh, you're so none. I love that place from you, Megan. Thank you very much. And then all of a sudden, she's stuck on the outside with the car abandoned on sideways on the outside as well. Nowhere to go, and well, no fault of anyone's there. I don't think whatsoever.
No, that was just like I said. It was just a good job of just doing whatever she could to just not run into somebody that's on the track sideways, because obviously he can't go anywhere until he gets at least some clear, a little bit of clear traffic, and so it was a good job by everybody that came through to just avoid it.
Battle over 9, Cathcart, Justice, Race, Dan Tassel flying on through. Kramer's managed to get away from them though. Just moving through in foreground of shots there. Actually, no, that's someone else, apologies. So that's Bradwell they're coming up to lap. He's got damage to, I think it was his rear right, I think I caught, been an eye of. They've got a bit of time to catch up to him of around about 4 seconds. Jackson into the pits. Retirement so far. Only the, 6? Kern, Jacobson, Kabanka, Love and Bradshaw. That's 5, with Bolton not starting. I'm amazed we haven't had more, considering what we've had happen. Those fast split repairs really coming to their own here today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's keeping a lot more of these drivers in the battle as we see Jackson into the pits now.
Well, that's clearly got to be a bit of a glitch or something, because he was
I think
never running in second.
Yeah,
yes, it's got to be.
Yep. It's a little iRacing thing, or a little SDK thing with our software. Sometimes it will get a little out of sync when you have a car towing. because they're going to be showing as in the pit, so they'll be ahead of everybody else. So we see who's that coming in? Is that Justice? Yep,
Dantas.
Josh Justice. Oh, is that Dantas?
Yeah.
Oh, it sure is. Oh yeah, it sure is. You're absolutely right.
So that's his second stop, I believe. Is this a drive-through? No, it's not. No, it's not. Maybe not enough fuel to get himself home, what he's feeling, or too sure.
Yeah, 8.3 on that stop. So yeah, I think you're exactly right, Tim. I think that was just enough to get enough fuel to get home. Obviously, I think he took his fast repair already because I didn't see anything change with the car when he got stopped. So, yep, that's just enough to get home and see how much ground he can make up. He's still running in 15th, so he's got the potential to make up a couple more spots before this is all over with.
Race going to work on Justice and Cathcart. You can feel he's losing time. They're embroiled in their own battle. That's one picked up.
Deep on the brakes by Race there.
We've not seen a move up the inside there, certainly that's worked out, but Race clearly brimming with confidence and feels like he can make it work here today. Yeah, lovely move there.
Yeah, he's battling hard to try and make up. Obviously starting up in the front two rows at the beginning of the race, he's doing as much as he can to make up for lost time. Is already back in the top 10 and should pick up a few more spots before this is over.
But it is holding him up in terms of the overall result. That's the only worrying thing, and it's maybe why they're taking a few more lunges than normally expect to see. Cathcart's going to get a toe off of Kramer though. What's Race going to do? Car's bouncing around all over the bumps. There goes Cathcart through. Race going to surely follow him through. Yes, he turns on the brakes. But Kramer loses. Well, not only not a place in class, but the two Masters drivers making their way through Cathcart and Race. Dispatching of him like a brain surgeon with a scalpel, that level of accuracy. So Race now onto the podium in Masters as in a bit too deep. That's going to allow Kramer to come straight back at him, and not just that, all the hard work undone, as Josh Justice just flies on by with that added momentum.
Yeah, like Race got into the wall there pretty good, and so that allowed Kramer and Justice to get back by. So he's got to reset and try to make those moves all over again. Obviously, Kramer and Justice are battling for the final podium position in Spec 2. They're not going to allow themselves to be separated too much with this battle going on. So Race is going to have to be very, very careful as he makes this pass to get back around.
So having a little look in terms of where our lead. I think this is the first time in a very, very long time that we've not shown leaders. Actually, I tell you what, it was the last time we came to a street circuit, you and I,
Long Beach.
Yeah, Marco Panero walked away with it. Castro's doing the same here. Well, it's not just him as well. The Sully's walking away from Ryland Potter as well. Carlos Barreto in a league, a little pocket of himself. He's at 5 spots, 4 in class as well, having started 9. I can't remember the last time we saw so many Spec 2 drivers inside the top 10. 4 of them.
Yeah, they're having a great run. They've kept themselves fairly clean for the most part. Obviously, see a little bit of damage on the back of Kramer's car, but they've done a really good job of just as we see Jackson around. Oh no!
And here comes this grapefruit. They've all negotiated. Scott Russell caught up with Jackson.
And Russell just tows. Jackson brings the car back around the proper direction to continue on. But yeah, they're having a good run, as we were talking about earlier. These Spec 2 guys managed to avoid a lot of the drama that happened at the start of the race, and so yeah, they're just paying dividends for them.
So they're just coming up onto the back of a little bit of traffic now. It's former Stephen Healy there. He's just still. Cathcart slaps the wall. He's yet to stop though, so are we going to see him dip into the pits? No, he's going to keep on going. Clearly feeling the car is drivable.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think that was. I mean, it was he slapped it pretty well, but I don't think it was just necessarily it wasn't direct enough impact to really damage the car. I don't think. So he kind of grazed it with the tail section of his car. So obviously did cost him a position in class and 3 positions overall. But he's going to keep going, and we still got, I think, the top 10 still get to pit, or 10 cars in the top still get to pit.
It's technically the top 9 because where Cathcart made that mistake, allowing Antonio Race to come on by. So Antonio Race is the highest driver who has stopped. He's in 9th, as you can see. Well, for how much longer though with Justice? Oh no! Oh, there's no way. I mean, Cathcart, he went low.
Yeah.
To avoid it. As our leader in, and the Selly in well as well from second, and I think Cathcart and Justice will be joining him as well.
I think that you're absolutely right. So I think they'll be coming in this time, and it's that's it's one of those instances where you kind of wish that I think when Justice goes back and reviews that, he's probably said, I probably should have done things a little differently there.
Hindsight, powerful thing, isn't it?
It is.
Although I'm not sure whether he might have just towed and had another incident, potentially. Because he's shot down through the order. And this might answer things. Jesus, Smoothly on fire with it as always. Oh, that car, look at it crabbing like mad. And swaps ends at 7.
Yeah, I think that's just like, okay, he said, you know what? It might be better if I just tow this. It's just the car's not behaving now with the alignment has been reconfigured. So he's going to take that tow and go into the pits. As we see Trenton Kramer we saw him do that in the Formula Ford race. It just seemed like he hasn't quite got the handle of the braking point for that corner, and now he's kind of damaged the front end a little bit.
Undoing all his great work because he's one of the guys to run real great mileage out of his fuel. Still out there as we're on the half-hour mark. It's only himself, Cathcart, Simpkins, and Potter. Those last 2 being second and first. Also both leading their classes at the moment. So yeah, really, really great mileage. Potter looks like he's going again. Wow. That's
a really long run.
Which now makes me wonder. We were saying about, if anyone can do it, Jason Green could do it in terms of the mileage. It does ask us that Simpkins bails.
Yeah.
So he's in. I mean, understand it's still incredibly deep for a circuit like this. 31 minutes roughly on the clock now. Here comes Cathcart for another driver who's surely going to hit in on this lap.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's not really getting the great mileage that he would hope for with no front end on the car. It does lose a little bit of aerodynamic ability there. Yep, he's coming into the pits. So now we have Potter and Kramer are the last 2. And here comes Kramer. So now we got Potter out there. But yeah, you're right. I think we talked about Green being able to make the car sip fuel as opposed to gulp it. So makes you wonder if he can get all the way on that one stop.
So, as you say, Potter's still the only car out there. Surely has to come in on this lap. He's got 15 seconds in the bag over Duda Castro. So, Castro should resume the lead. It's Naselli, who was second before the round of pit stops happened for that top group. Currently third, 19 seconds, 19 and a half exact to be precise, behind Canadian.
Yeah, here he is.
Let's find out. He's finding his pit box. Jackson remains on the left side of the pit lane there to allow him through. Perry and Murakami back into the pits. Justice in as well. What's going to be a second stop? So stopped up, fuel on board. There goes Castro. We knew that would happen. What about Naselli? Still in a pit box, so Naselli has gone on through. Heading out now, what's Carlos Barreto going to do? So he's going through turns 1 and 2 with momentum and speed. Potter still getting back up to speed. Well, I think he's done it, Charles. Yeah, there you go.
So.
Comfortably.
Yeah. It was a really good stop. He was well in with everybody else's stoppage time. So, great job by Potter to hold serve and come back out in P3.
To sort things out of what's happened, Castro leads from Naselli and Potter. They're your top 3. Spec 2 is Simpkins, who's 7th. Vincent, who's up 11 into 9th now, 2nd in class. 3rd up 19 is Todd Martin, and up 4 places in class as well as the Canadian. It's clearly a day for the Canadians here today. 2 of them.
Oh, whoa!
Oh, wow.
That's an interesting incident there. I mean, we're basically on the straightaway heading into the start finish line, which is not necessarily straight, but obviously they're not lifting through there, and just to have that contact is just bizarre.
Yeah, not sure what caused it, but let's find out. So there's 4 before. Oh, just squeeze Wood.
Yeah,
he tried to sneak his way through.
Yeah, he just kept coming to the left and ran out of room, and Wood was there, and so car got turned. And so I'm going to tell you, as we were talking about Jason Green, who's running at 11th, if he is able to make it, not only did he stop early, but he only stopped for 8.8 seconds. The leaders who just came in stopped anywhere from 10.5 to 11.2. So not only did he stop early, he stopped very, very quickly, and it was a very short stop on top of that. So if he can make it to the end from pitting on the 3rd lap, that's pretty impressive.
Find out, Charles. Just under 5 minutes remaining on the clock here from Belle Isle. Masters, Antonio Race leads. Marnie, 6th overall, 2nd in class. And then you've got to go down to Brad Cathcart, who's, we've seen so much of him here today. He's up 4 positions in class, 6th overall into 17th. And with Laurie there, you can see just popping into the pit. That's going to surely put him in really, really good stead. Wood into the pits as well. After that contact, and, with Thorpe trying to repair some of that, Brewster heads on through. That's going to move him up into 4th position in class. He was one of the drivers who got caught up in that early on incident. So, in fact, he's nearly recovered back to where he started in 17th. That's looking like actually a solid result, isn't it?
Yeah,
we've got everyone lapped up to and including 30th, which is Joseph Tarantino. Retirements, Wilson, Kern, Jacobson, Kabanka, Love, and Bradshaw, with Bolton not making the start.
Yeah, great recovery by Brewster to get back up and almost recover back up to where he qualified after that, getting involved in that pretty big pile up early in the race.
Todd Martin incidentally has the, possibly soon to be renamed David Gaspers. If he needs to turn up for a few more rounds to have the trophy renamed from the Andres Bertoni Award for most positions gained, up 19 into 13th place and 3rd in class as well now to boot. As Vincent, apologies, getting past Overstreet there. He's charging on hard, isn't he? He's flying.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's obviously doing. Oh, you see a little.
He clips the wall.
Yep. So that would have been a pretty immediate commentator's curse there, Tim. So no, he's having a good run, up 12 positions, P8 overall, P2 in class. And yeah, it's just I think consistency is the name of the day. The word of the day is what it seems to be. Is just you know just being consistent and running your laps, and things seem to be working out for those who are still out there.
Wow, really getting away. He's already put out a 2-second gap over Overstreet. Now, she stopped on lap 8. Yeah, there we go. Samuli putting out, she's got damage. It's like limping that car out.
Yeah, just trying to get to the end. I think we're 2 laps left. Is that right? Something like that. I'm not sure. Leader looks like yeah. So we're going to be white flag at the line, I believe, for the leader when it comes back around.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, no.
We got another one. We got another one. Berry and Vaccaro. Berry gets away with it, though. He's going to lose a place to Trenton Kramer. Vaccaro was a lapped car as well, so trying to clear him. Did Berry have his own incident? And it's that curb again.
Yep. Yeah, that inside curve there seems to be catching lots of. I think it happened as well in the first race, catching a lot of people out.
And I think that may well have been a DQ for Vaccaro, because he hit him and then disappeared.
Completely disappeared, yeah.
And he's not moving. So I think that's someone who's gone over the incident point limit.
Yeah, I think you may be absolutely right. And we don't talk about that because it doesn't happen very often. But, I think we're at 17x for a drive-through, and was it 20? I'm not sure, is it 25 for a disqualification?
Hold on. We'll find out. It's white flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Oh, no.
Oh, easy.
That's Healy. Oh, it's awful, isn't it, when you're pointing in the wrong direction? Lights at the rear tires, flicks the car around.
Nicely done. Yep. First instinct, obviously, is to back up, but, back up right into the racing line. Kind of fought that one off and said, okay, let me see if I can make this happen another way. Was able to get the car flicked around and headed back the right direction. Yeah, Overstreet's just still losing time. She's has some pretty bad damage. Yep.
Drive through at 12x.
Oh.
DQ 18.
There you go.
From what we saw earlier on, very, very easy, if you're to rack up quite a few. Trenton Kramer, very, very late stop here. Heads on to the white flag lap.
It was a 9.5 second stop the last time, so maybe it went a lap longer than he expected and has to stop again to take on a little fuel. Yep, 6 second stop, so yep, that was exactly what it was, just didn't fuel up enough the first time.
And it looks like Jason Green's going to make it home, Charles. Stopped till lap 3.
Amazing.
Meanwhile, Judo Castro takes the victory. We've hardly seen anything of him. It's been that commanding. Holy Judo, you have a great race. You're clinical with the victory. There's the Sully, second place for his best result this season. Just gets better and better for him. Posser's going to finish in 3rd. Antonio Race picking up that win with a slightly bruised and battered car there. Getting scrapes on his car, that's for certain. Simpkins going to win in Spec 2. Right, so we've only really got one battle, and that is Alan McCain involved. He's not far behind Martin, but too far back to actually affect that result, as Martin's going to claim 3rd place up in a Corona 20.
Oh.
That's out of fuel.
I was going to say, it looked like Green might have been out of fuel. He started dropping time on that last lap. Yeah, he's chugging at this point. Once again, it's amazing how he does his fuel saving. it just, every time we talk about it, it's just like, I just don't know how he does it. He managed to go, he pitted on lap 3, so he went 34-ish minutes, on the track. That's unreal.
It's one of the longest stints we've ever seen in
Yeah.
Weekend Warriors. And I think that came at somewhere like, I want to say maybe even Daytona, a real draft track where you can fuel save a lot.
Yeah.
He's done it here on the streets of Detroit. I said the streets of Detroit, so it's in the park at Belle Isle, and it doesn't exist anymore, and it's virtual, but, metaphor's the same, there's still some relevancy there. And incidentally, from Dantas running out of fuel, Todd Martin picked up another place overall, so he finished 11th overall, up incredible 21 for him.
Wow. What a strange race. But, I mean, it's still, obviously, hats off to Castro. He got out front and just stayed there, and had a fantastic race, and we never saw him.
Just confirming there, the victory for Castro. Naselli second. Winning victory of nearly 5 seconds for Castro. Naselli, who was himself, nearly 10 seconds, or just over 10 seconds clear of Potter, who finished first. That's Barreto. Someone else who had a quiet race. Didn't see much of him either. He finished 4th at 5 spots, having started 9th. Then winner in Masters race. Marnie, second. Doesn't keep that winning streak going. The first time he's not finished on the top step of the podium all season long. Who's Simpkins and Vincent, first and second in Spec 2, 7th and 8th overall. Then we've got Green, Overstreet to round out the top 10, followed by third place, Todd Martin, who we've mentioned plenty of. Set a third in class for him, 11th overall. Dantas, McCain, Favini, Cathcart, who picks up the third place in Masters. A third place of the season for him. He'll be happy with that one. Pocock, Berry, Brewster, Kramer, Laurie running out your top 10, and then it was Berry and Wood was the first driver, 1 lap down in 22nd. Then we had Fort, Murakami, Walbolt, Healy, Brain, Bradwell, Young, Tarantino in 30th. Then 2 laps down. Well, in fact, it was Tarantino, apologies. Justice and Russell also 2 laps down. Then into retirement. Vaccaro lost him on lap 18. Nunes on lap 17. So was Jackson. Lap 10 for Wilson. Kern, lap 6. Jacobson and Kabanker on lap 3, lap 2 for Love, lap 1 for Bradshaw. Bolton did not make the start. Let's have a bit of a chat to a few of our drivers. And first off, we'll kick things off with Dudu Castro, our winner here today. Congratulations, Dudu. We won't lie to you. You didn't get a lot of airtime because you just cleared off into the distance, and if you watch it back, you'll see exactly what was going on behind you. Some massive, massive shunts. But, I mean, you made it look absolutely like a walk in the park there today.
No. Absolutely not. It's not a walk in the park when you have a Mauricio right behind you. I think I had that situation because he made a mistake on turn 3, and then he lost a bit the slipstream. But and then I think I got a 0.2, 0.3 pace, a little bit better than him. Then I could increase that gap a bit, but definitely was not a park ride. Definitely not.
No, and then of course, due to those big incidents, it really sort of spaced out the field. I'm sure you encountered lap traffic a lot earlier than what you did. Just talk us through trying to negotiate your way through that with, well, I mean, you made it look easy, but I'm sure that wasn't, you must have had a few squeaky bum moments, this is the phrase we use in the UK, when you're trying to get past them.
Yeah, team. What I did, once again, this week, I put a lot of effort in this track, maybe something like 300-400 laps in this track to get the limits and get me comfortable. And I set a setup for a race setup, so I wasn't too afraid on the quali. Luckily, I could do a good quali lap, but I knew I was gonna have a safe setup for the race. So that would drive me to help me negotiate with the traffic and lapid cars and everything. So it was good. I had one guy that he was in front of myself at the end. Mauricio was shortening the gap a bit, but I think I still had a little fat to manage that, and that's what I did. Complete the whole race with no incidents and everything safe. So I'm really glad to that.
It makes it your third win in the row this season. Obviously Willow Springs, Tsukuba last week, Road America next week. I think that's going to be a completely and utterly different game, isn't it? And a real draft track.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a draft track. It's going to be something that we're going to negotiate during the race. It's tough to find a strategy for the race, for this kind of race. But we will see. We will learn during the race and see what happens. And I'm really happy. It's the third week in a row winning, 4 polyseason in a row, and I'm really happy, really happy. And I would like to also thank my team partner Carlos that put him on a 4th position right now. So it was good for us, good for our team.
Yeah, definitely a good one for your team, and 2 Brazilians in the top 4 as well. He was at 5 was Carlos. So yeah, great result for yourself. Well, congratulations, Dudu. You'll win it here today. Hello, Charles. As always, the honour of the Masters winner on Antonio Race.
Antonio, congratulations. A fantastic job
Thank you.
Fantastic job by you. You had an early incident. You had to pit on lap 6 and was able to just kind of charge through the field, making up spots, and ended up ahead of Monty to win the class. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I was hoping that could be better than that, but unfortunately something happened. And then I was trying to keep up with Dudu and Mauricio, but I couldn't because of, whatever. Maybe I just don't have enough pace to them. So I was through pressure, and then I make some mistakes under the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. This track is you're not very forgiving at all. So yeah, we were talking with Dudu just a minute ago. He said he put about 300 or 400 laps on this track, just getting prepped for this race. Did you put on that many laps in preparation for this?
No. I didn't put much time, but I put enough time to see that I have enough pace. So I was aware that I have a little pace, not as much as Dudu, but was a little at least almost 1 second slower than him.
Yeah. So what are you thinking about for next week at Road America?
Oh, it will be fun as usual. I always like to be there with the guys, and so it's nice to be there with you guys and as well. So I'm just waiting for that.
There you go. Well, congratulations, Antonio. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you guys for covering us, and all good for you and for every viewers. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Next up, we've got our winner in Spec 2, who's Simpkins. Congratulations. I mean, just talk us through those opening laps. It looks so challenging, and there's so much danger around you. Some big incidents that really sort of define this race.
Well, it's of course a street track, so that you could expect some mayhem in the first laps, and I was really lucky to get past the incident with Jason Perry just in front of me, and I gained some places through that. And then I saw Trenton behind me spinning in the third last corner, I think. So from there on, I had to really try to stay focused and not hit anything. So I think that's my biggest achievement today, is not having any X's.
You mentioned about that, obviously, seeing your nearest rivals, you move away from them. Does that actually make it harder? Because it makes it easier almost to not have a moment where you don't concentrate. And we all know with street circuits, the moment you don't concentrate, you end up hitting the wall and it ruins your race. Would it have been easier to have them still with you for your concentration levels, or would you rather have it that you're more alone and there's no one near you?
Well, I prefer driving behind somebody, of course. Then there's a bit of a risk of hitting him, of course. But staying focused alone is really a challenge. It's maybe more difficult than the other one. And I had to really keep an eye on the relative screen from where everybody behind and in front was. Once Jörg got past me, I couldn't keep up with him. So he was gone sailing as well. So that was from there on a bit alone, and I had to fuel save quite a bit to make it to the end. I just made it, luckily.
Well, I mean, just made it luckily. Some may say that you timed it and worked it out to absolute perfection. But congratulations, first victory of the season and our 5th different winner from the opening 6 rounds in Spec 2. Congratulations to Simpkins there for you.
Thank you, Tim, very much.
No worries. And well, that is all we've got time for. I'm off to go sit in a cold, dark room and try and recompose. I don't know about you, Charles, after that one.
Yeah. It's it's this track is just it brings back many bad memories, but I think overall we had a couple of really good races today. Of course, you're going to have incidents, but I think we were given a couple really good races to watch and commentate on.
Oh, we certainly were. Indeed, and thank you very much for joining us. I've been Tim Cox with Charles Bashal and Samuli Kuma, and we'll see you in a week's time where the SRF Weekend Warriors Tour rolls into Road America. See you then. Thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye.